And Eric Ziegler will throw downfield on the option. Darted below, he has it at the 40, and he could be gone. Palisades! Touchdown, Palisades Park! And just like that on the flea flicker, Billy Taylor, the Tigers have the lead. This is the NJSIAA State Sectional Final in North Jersey, Group 1, Section 1, featuring number 2 seed Palisades Park versus the number 4 seed Wallington Panthers, who are here to defend their championship. And we welcome all our viewers from Vision Cable Channel 10 and Comcast Channel 3. It's a cold and windy day, but still, we're going to play a great game. Palisades Park in Wallington. Mike Hersey here with the BT Express former New York Giant Billy Taylor. And Billy, maybe a breezy day for football, but this is what it's all about.
Well, when you get to this point in the season, this is what it's all about. Babe Mangilia talked about before the game that it doesn't really matter on the weather because the main thing is they got here. This is what it's all about. We got a good game today.
Well, Jason Maletti is going to be a key for Palisades Park. The Tiger quarterback, 6'4", 200 pounds, led the way last week. Outstanding in his mobility last week, and I think that helped win the game.
Well, I think Babe Mangili's adjustment by going against the running game and starting to open up Jason really helped the Powell Park offense come along. And I think today, Wallington's going to have to stop Jason Maletti, but they can do it.
A surprise last week was number 95, a key man in the wide receiving position, Jason Pilata. Now, Jason, of course, had some great catches over the middle, including one touchdown catch, which turned out to be the first touchdown of the game.
Well, you know, what's ironic about that is in big games, the good comes to the top, and I think he allowed himself really to have his best game at this time.
Now, on the other side, we have the defense led by Ray Perez and Charlie Merkovic at linebacker, Tony Merkovic at linebacker, and Charlie Velardo, of course. And these guys are really going to have to come up big against a pretty good quarterback.
Oh, they surround the ball very well. Also, they got over 2,000 yards running the ball, 1,000 yards passing, and they're a well-rounded offense. They like to run the ball, but they can pass when they have to, and they usually take what the defense gives them, and I think that's a key element in having a good football team and being here in the championship, Michael.
Well, when you talk about Wallington, they were in the sectional championship last year, and they are defending champs, and they come in with a new quarterback. Last year, if you remember, it was Paul McGreeny who led the way to the championship. This year, it's a young man named Tom Vellis.
And he's a good one, too. He's got a lot of poise. They've got an excellent group of experienced players. As you said, they've been here before, and I think that experience could elevate them to do Palisade Park in today.
Well, Vellis has over 1,000 yards passing, 11 touchdowns throwing, and 6 rushing, so he can do it both ways.
Well, I think at this level, you've got to have a versatile quarterback with the agility and mobility to get away from the rush, because sometimes the offensive lineman can't hold him out the entire time. And with his versatility, I think it's going to give Wallington a big edge against Powell Park.
Now, another outstanding person in the backfield is number 42, Sean Ivanicki. We'll have to look out for him from his tailback position. Had over 900 yards and 9 touchdowns.
And he's a tough runner, too. He gets the tough yards. He doesn't really fumble the ball much. He's very consistent, and I think that's going to be the key today. Powell Park has got to stop him on first down. I think that's going to be a key.
Now, defensively for the Panthers, they have over 60 sacks this season, which is kind of unbelievable when you think about it during 10 games. But they're averaging 6 sacks a game, and they're led by number 81, Manny Tejeda, who was here last year and scored a touchdown, caught a crazy pass in the end zone on a bobble.
The game could go any way because of the wind, but also because of the pressure they can put on Jason Maletic. I think Powell Park's really going to have to come up with something. What Babe Mangilia was talking before the game is he's going to try to show them a little bit of the run and shoot. We're having 2 receivers to each side to flank him out a little bit and spread the defense. So I was wondering if he's getting away from what he did to get to this point when he's trying new stuff. So I think at this point in the season, it's really going to be a big difference if that can work or not. If it doesn't with the wind, Powell Park may be in trouble, Michael.
Well, the bookends, of course, Tejeda, and with 9 sacks, Keith Skirby, number 89. Those are 2 gentlemen to be looking out for. And Maletic will have to keep looking out of the corner of his eye. And certainly when you talk about the coaches, Carl Von Tobel, his 2nd year at the helm at Wallington, an outstanding record of 18-3 when you think that they were 3-5-1 in 1989 before he took over.
Well, Coach Von Tobel has put in a great program at Wallington. You can see this is the 2nd time in a row. Talking to him before the game, he's very confident about how his team can stop Jason Maletic. He feels that Maletic is all they have. He doesn't think one man can beat Wallington. He's very confident they're going to go home champions today. So it's a real challenge for Babe Mangilia and his Powell Park Tigers.
And speaking of Babe Mangilia, the man's been there for 5 years. Coach of the Year again in the BCSO National for the 3rd consecutive year. What more can you say about him?
Yeah, well, one thing that is a tag in some of the pregame preparation is that Bud Grant syndrome of getting to the championship and losing. So he wants to get rid of that and come up with a winner for the first time. He thinks with Jason being a senior, a lot of the Powell Park Park Tigers. This is their last game they're going to play together, and I think it's really going to give them a chance to see if they can come through in a crucial situation with the win going against them today.
All right, we're just about ready for the kickoff, and when we come back, we'll have the state sectional finals between Palisades Park and Wallington in North Jersey, Section 1. Stay tuned.
The Palisades Park Chamber of Commerce.
Lombardi Field in Palisades Park, and let's go over the starting lineups now. First for the Palisades Park Tigers on offense, led by quarterback number 10, Jason Maletic. Jason, 6'4", 200-pound senior. Number 34, Tariq Ali, is in the backfield. He's a senior as well, 5'11", 188 pounds, along with number 22, sophomore David Lai. The tight end is Frank Bracco, number 90. The wide receiver is Jason Plata, number 95, and Eric Ziegler, number 85, and there'll be two guys to watch today for sure. And on the offensive line, a big offensive line that's come through for Bay Montpelier this year. Charlie Velardo at guard, Eric sits at the other guard, and the two tackles, Paul Hahn and Rico Graziano, the center, Tony Merkovic. Now the Wallington defense, they run a 40 or a 50 depending on what they think is going to happen offensively. They are led up front by Manny Tejeda with 16 sacks. Dave Milnicki is the tackle, as well as Barry Blaubelt and Keith Skirby is the other defensive end. The linebackers are Sean Ivanicki, number 42, number 51, Joe Lukuski, and Mark Pokai. And in the secondary, it's Walter Zamborski, Glenn McGreeny, Tom Vellis, and Tim Hilvenka for the Panthers. And Billy, I think right now the adrenaline that's flowing on the field, there isn't anyone who's cold here with the excitement that's building up for this one.
Well, this is what high school football is all about. To be able to get to this point, I think it's exciting for the fans, the cheerleaders, and everybody. Incidentally, the cheerleaders always talked about Vision Cable, about not getting on television enough, so I told them that we'd get them in the game a little bit today. But I think the keys to the game is can Wallington stop Powell Park's running game, and can Powell Park offensively get Jason Maletic going early, because if they get behind early, as they did in last year's championship, Wallington may put them away.
Well, if you remember last year, it was a bitter defeat for Palisades Park in the semifinals of the sectional playoffs when Wallington knocked off Palisades Park 20-14. But you got to look at a couple of keys. Of course, you're talking about the pressure on Maletic, and you have to make sure, as you know, with mobility, as important as it is in high school today, Maletic certainly is one who can get out of there.
Well, I think this is some of the fans' last chance to see Jason Maletic in this area, because he's definitely a college prospect. He's got all the tools to lead any college team in the nation to have a successful season. So I think he wants to do good in this game to show a lot of people that he's been very fortunate to be at Powell Park for 4 years.
In fact, you know that Rutgers is looking at him. He was telling me that Purdue, Ohio State, Boston College, so there are a number of schools looking at the big 6'4" senior.
Well, I'm very impressed with him. I think all he needs is a little bit of coaching. He's got all the physical tools, he's got the mobility, the agility, and he's got the mentality of a good quarterback to lead somebody, and I like that in a quarterback. Plus, he plays tough on defense. He plays defensive back. He got 6 interceptions this year, comes up tough against the run, and is a great competitor.
Well, Palisades Park has won the toss, and they will receive the wind blowing strongly from left to right on your screen, and certainly, how much is that going to have an impact on this game, Bill?
Well, passing the ball, because it's going to be hard to throw deep downfield. Jason Maletic has got a strong arm, but it's going to be tough for him to get those long passes in. They're going to try to establish their running game, because Wallington has got one of the best duels of pass rushers I think we've seen in some time. So it's really going to be like a chess game, and can Babe Mangelia, can he use the same adjustments as he did last week against Park Ridge?
Now, off of the Panthers' win last year in the state playoffs, I talked to Carl Von Tobel earlier in the week, and I asked him if there was really any advantage coming into this year knowing that you beat them last year, and he said, you know, there's absolutely no advantage at all, because you know Maletic's going to get his yardage, and you got a lot of kids in different positions now. It's a different team, and I guess every year that happens with high school. You just basically have a different team, and now this is basically a senior-laden team, so he said there's no advantage.
Well, Coach Van Tobel also reminded me that they stopped Jason Maletic last year in the championship game, and he feels that with the success they had last year, it should help his team confidence-wise as far as knowing what to do against Powell Park's offense.
Well, BT, we're just about ready to go in the state sectional final. North Jersey Section 1, Group 1, Palisades Park in Wallington. Mike Kersey, Billy Taylor here to call all the action for you, and we're so glad that you're joining us for this. Wallington will kick off to Palisades Park.
Correction.
And number 12, Greg Drellick, will do all the kicking. He's the punter and the place kicker for Wallington. Back to receive, Eric Ziegler, who's up in the far corner. And we're ready to go. And it goes through Jason Pallotta's hands and out of the end zone. They call it a touchback. The only question I had there, it looked like it might have just skimmed through his hands, but according to the official, it didn't happen.
Yeah, but Mike, even if it had, the impetus of the ball allowed it to go into the end zone, so it still would have come back to the 20-yard line.
So Palisades Park will take over 1st and 10. Jason Maletic will lead his team out there. The backfield consisting of Tariq Ali and David Lyde, Frank Bronco, the tight end, Pallotta, and Ziegler are the wideouts.
I think it's important, Mike, for Pal Park to start out good because the last couple games they've started out slow and it has put them in a hole and they've had to come back from it. I think it would be good for them in the championship game to come out strong and establish the running game early.
Jason Pallotta running on the field. Tom Johnston also split left. And the pitch to Ali, and he's taken down immediately. A fine tackle by number 75, Barry Blaubelt, from his right defensive tackle position.
Well, that's what Wallington is known for, their great defensive line. They put great pressure on the quarterback. They stop the run. I think what's important to note today is that the first series of down for Pal Park, they came out with 2 wideouts on each side, kind of like a replica of the run and shoot. And it's just to spread the defense, but the first play they lost 2 yards, so Babe might have to dump that one if it doesn't work pretty soon.
Well, coming to the near side is number 81, George Galanis. He's a 5'11 senior who didn't get much time last week in the game in their win. And Maletic under a lot of pressure, nowhere to go, and a bunch of Panthers take him down.
Well, when you have 2 wideouts to each side, Mike, it leaves virtually nobody to help out if one of your offensive linemen get beat for a sack, and that's exactly what happened. If his primary receiver is not open, he doesn't really have time to get back to the second and third receivers.
Number 25, Tom Johnston, checks back into the game as well for Palisades Park. So, Billy, we're seeing Johnston and Galanis along with Ziegler and Pallotta, and this is the way they're going to go to start the game. One man in the backfield, that's Ali. It's 3rd down. Maletic with no time. And he's tackled for maybe a gain of a yard. Number 51 coming up with the tackle, Joe Lukuski, the 6', 180-pound middle linebacker.
Well, Wallington has let Pal Park know in that first series that they are the defending champions. And if you're going to come out and try to get the mental edge on a team, you stop them in the first series, and that's exactly what Pal Park did.
Well, the Tigers are stuck with 4th down and 15 at their own 15-yard line. Jason Maletic also handles the punting chores for the Tigers.
He's punting into a tough wind too, Mike.
And he gets off a decent kick considering the wind, and it will drop at the 37, finally picked up and taken to the 34-yard line for Wallington, so they have excellent field position for their first drive of the game.
What's really important to note is that the wind is going against Pal Park. They chose to receive on that. Wallington had a great defensive stand, which allows Pal Park to punt against the wind. Wallington comes in excellent field position, and this is the way you start out a championship game, so Pal Park is already backed up.
The Wallington offense consists of Tom Vellis, a 6'4", 185-pound senior quarterback. He hands it off, and this one is Sean Ivanicki, number 42, their bread and butter in the backfield, and he gets about 3 yards, close to the 30-yard line.
That's what Wallington does best. They're coming right at Pal Park. They feel they can run the ball against them. That's what has enabled them to be 9-1 and be in the state championship, and that's what Pal Park is going to have to stop. So to pick up positive yardage on first down, I think is very important.
Ivanicki rushed for more than 900 yards this year from his tailback slot. Here's the quick handoff. Number 22, Mark Pokai, gets a couple of more yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd down in about 4.
Poco on the carry. Bucketed and Ali on the stop.
So you would think that this is a pretty important stand right here. First down gets them even closer to pay dirt.
Well, really, you think of this is 2-down territory, Mike.
The handoff one more time. This time it's Ivanicki, and looks like he stopped short of the first down. A good defensive surge by the Palisades Park line and their linebacking core. And as you've said, this is going to be 4-down territory. They would have to go for it here.
With the wind gushing like it is, it's really too difficult to even attempt a field goal. And they're right in the middle of the field in the mud. This is what football is all about. They don't need that AstroTurf and stuff. You can see the guys' jerseys beginning to get muddy. At the end of this conclusion of this contest, you're going to see a lot of numbers that we probably cannot see.
At the 32-yard line.
Tom Vellis with the keeper. The ball's loose, and Palisades Park looks like they've recovered. And he's down a first down and a lot more. In fact, it was such a quick snap. I don't think Palisades Park was ready defensively. Vellis went through it. It looked like he may have slipped or tripped over somebody. The ball came out, and Palisades Park comes up with the recovery.
Turnovers, we're going to have to keep a note on how the game progresses, but I think Vellis just came out and he was really looking at the first down instead of holding on to the ball. I think Pal Park's got a break right now. They got to get going, and I feel this is right now they can take advantage of a turnover.
Again, 4 wide receivers, 2 up top, 2 down the bottom. Maletic rolling to his right. This may be the way to go. And he's got a man complete for a first down, about 12 yards. Eric Ziegler coming up with the reception.
I really showed you the poise of Jason Maletic on the play. As you look at the replay, he rolled out to his side. He had adequate blocking. He waited for the receiver to make his turn, threw the ball before he made his turn. That's a college quarterback right there. Jason Maletic picks up the first down of the game for either team, Mike.
You know, both have to have a lot of credit on that. The way Ziegler went down to get the ball, there was no way there could be an interception or the defender could even get to it. It's first down for Palisades Park at about their own 37, and he keeps it for a couple of yards. And right now, let's go down to our man on the field, Fred Demers. What do you have for us?
Thank you, Billy. It's extremely windy down here on the field, but Palisades Park is not worried about that in terms of their front and passing attack. Some key notes in terms of personnel. Ray Perez, defensive standout for Palisades Park, is playing today's game with the flu. He did start, but we'll have to see how he feels come halftime. Now back up to Billy and Mike.
All right, thanks, Fred. There's an interesting note. Ray Perez, a little bit on the injured side, and we'll see what happens. We'll keep a note on that. Maletic now is chased down at about his own 30-yard line. He had no chance. The offensive line just couldn't do it.
Well, that was the pressure that Ivanicki put on him. As you watch Maletic go out to his left, Ivanicki really just beat his block really quick. And again, when they've got double wideouts on each side, it's very hard for him to get protection at the quarterback position. And I think Babe Mangeli's going to have to work on that, because these third and long situations are really, really going to hurt them as the game goes on.
The pressure by Keith Skirby, who's credited with that sack. So it brings up a third down and long, about 15 yards. Ball at the 31. Maletic drops back, in trouble again, and almost picked off. In fact, it was right in Manny Tejeda's hands, and I tell you, you see pay dirt, there was no one in front of him. It was 6.
Well, it was an ill-advised pass by Jason Maletic, because he had read the play perfectly, and he should have just thrown that up in the third level. As he matures as a quarterback, as you see on the replay, you have to throw that one away. And I think Jason Maletic will learn from that, because that can really put them in a big hole.
Well, already Manny Tejeda and Keith Skirby are creating havoc for Palisades Park from their defensive end positions. It's 4th down, 6:33 left to go. Here in the first quarter, Maletic back to punt. McGreeny back to receive, but this one won't get near him. Charlie Velardo will down it at the 46-yard line, where Wallington will take over. And we'll take this time out. The score, Palisades Park nothing and Wallington nothing. We'll be back with more in a moment. Wallington, they got away from the run, a nice play fake.
It's totally set up by the running game. By having success running the ball, that enables you, as you watch the replay, for them to go for the fake. That gives the quarterback time to come out and find the open receiver, and that's what they have to do. If the running game can set up the passing game, they're going to really have an advantage over Powell Park.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Their second drive of the ball game. Their first one ended up in a fumble recovered by Powell Park. Vellis with the pitch left. Ivanicki loses the handle and falls right on it. A smart play by Ivanicki. No sense trying to pick it up down at the 24.
Well, that shows you how well Wallington's well coached by Carl Van Tobel. Usually you see a runner that tries to pick up the ball, pursuit comes in and he fumbles again. Very smart play. They line up again and still have a chance to do something. They're in the positives zone of Powell Park, and I think that this is a crucial drive for them, because they've gotten a couple good breaks early in the game.
2nd and 14, Ivanicki on the handoff again. And he breaks away from one tackler and finally brought down. It took a while, but they finally got him back at the 20-yard line.
You know, when you run the ball at teams, especially if you're having success, it really breaks the team's confidence level down. And if Wallington can take this and run it right down into Powell Park's teeth of their defense, it will give them a lot of confidence as the game progresses.
Ray Perez, Jason Maletic on the tackle. You know, going back to the play before this, I thought the pitch out, Billy, was ill-advised, especially with the cold hands and the slippery field. So this is 3rd down now. About 10 yards to go. Vellis drops back, Looks over the middle. He's got Manny Tejeda at the 18-yard line with just a gain of a couple of yards, and it will bring up about a 4th and 8 situation, Billy. And if you're going to go for the first down, you got to throw it a little bit longer than that.
Oh, no question. But I think Tom Bellis really has showed me a lot of poise as a young quarterback. He took Paul McGreeny's place last year, came in, did an excellent job. As they attempt a field goal right now, they're really having a tough time as Pal Park's defense has bent but has not broken.
Greg Drellick will line up for the field goal attempt from 35 yards away. It's up and it's good. Greg Drellick
And the Panthers
with the 35-yard field goal for the Wallington Panthers, and there's the first score of the game. Wallington leads it by a score of 3-0.
Well, psychologically, that's really got to help them, because if you get a lead early in a game where the wind could turn negative in the second half, I think the team that gets up first will have the advantage. Now the ball is in Pal Park's corner, and they've really got to counter on this because they were down last year early to Wallington, and Wallington kept the pressure on.
You know, Billy, to have a field goal kicker that can kick, I mean, that would have been good from 40, maybe 45 yards. You have plenty of distance on it, and of course you have the wind behind you, but still, to have a field goal kicker who can kick that far and that well, that's an advantage in high school football.
Oh, no question. And I think that as the game wears on, that could be the difference in both teams. As we made note of last week, Pal Park does not really have a great field goal and extra point kicker.
Well, Elkin Azate, of course, was their field goal kicker, and a pretty good one at that, but he's been hampered with an injury, and we'll find out what the status is on Alzate when we come back a little bit later. But right now it is 3-0, 3:27 to go here in the first quarter.
Mike, Pal Park has got to stay up, because little things like this, when the weather is like this, and having lost in this situation many times before, the team really has got to stay up, and the leadership of the seniors for Pal Park has got to come forward and really focus on what's at hand.
Greg Trellick with the kickoff.
Short kick.
It's short.
Ziegler.
Eric Ziegler. Up top comes the other side. Out across the 25, almost the 30, across the 30 to the 33 before he's brought down. And a nice return coming back the other way, Eric Ziegler.
Back to the 36.
Well, Pal Park has got good field position here, but the thing that I wonder is how long Babe Mangilia is going to stay with that double wideout offense, because so far they're putting too much pressure on Jason Maletic. He's always been a good coach to make adjustments, so we're going to watch it as the game goes forth, if he can change his offense to go back to what he does best.
Well, right now, Ziegler and Pilata are both on the sidelines. And Billy, you called it. In the I formation, the second man through, Tariq Ali, battles for about 3 or 4 yards out to the 35-yard line. So there you have it, Billy. He did make some adjustments, found out the first time around it really wasn't going to work, especially against the wind.
Well, also, too, when you bring out 4 wide receivers, you're lessening people to help block your quarterback. And the first guy that gets by one of the front line puts a lot of pressure on Maletic, and you can't have that throughout the day.
It's second down. About 6, Maletic under pressure. Skirby on the chase. Maletic gets it away, and it's incomplete. He throws it away at about the 40. Dardan Malali couldn't come up with it on the pass that was a bit behind him.
Well, it was great pressure, and that's what Coach Van Tobel had stated before the game, that he wanted to keep pressure on Jason Maletic. He has done that so far this game, and I think Babe Mangieli is going to have to figure out a way to open up Maletic without that type of pressure, because otherwise it's going to be a long day, and they have not crossed midfield thus far.
Lion Ali in the backfield. Third down and 6. Maletic gives it to David Lai, and the quick sophomore gets through to about the 40-41-yard line, but that's going to be enough. It's going to be 4th down.
The Larville on the stop.
And you would have to think they're going to punt it here.
Yeah, they have to, because it's still in their own territory. It's still early in the game. The defense is playing well, and there's no use taking the chance right here. You wait till the wind gets on your side, then you take the chance.
Exactly.
McGrady back deep for Wallington.
There's a timeout on the field. The official calling a timeout. Try to find out what that's about. Just a little officials conference on the field.
In punt formation.
So it is 4th down, 2 yards to go. Maletic back to punt. Glenn McGreeny will receive it for Wallington. Here's the kick, a good line drive. That's smart to kick it that low. McGreeny will let it roll. The ball at the 26 and touched by Johnston, and that's where Wallington will take over 1st and 10. You know, something that surprised me a little bit, BT, is the fact that with the wind going in their direction, Wallington hasn't tried to go long with any of their passes. You would think that that would be the way to go, maybe to try to break it open, go deep.
Well, Coach Van Tobel is one of those coaches who believes in doing what he did to get here. He ran the ball very effectively during the course of the year, and that's what he does best. And I think he's going to stay with his game plan until Pal Park stops it.
And that's exactly what they're doing. It's Sean Ivanicki one more time. Out across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Anytime you get at least 4 yards on 1st down running the ball, it makes your 2nd down situation where the offense has the advantage. And now Wallington comes up with 2nd and 4, and this is a passing situation or a situation where you really can do what you want to do offensively.
Joe Orlando, Tariq Ali coming up with the tackle. Ray Perez is in the game on the right side of that defensive line. On the option, he keeps it. Bellis gets the 1st down and about 4 yards more out to the 40-yard line. A nice fake one more time up the middle, and Bellis was able to hold that option until he decided he was going to go on his own.
I thought that Bellis did an excellent job of executing the option play because he read the tackle. The tackle goes in, he brings the ball out, and either has an option to pitch or to keep it himself. He picks up a valuable 1st down for Wallington.
Just 49 seconds and counting to go here in the 1st quarter. Bellis with the handoff again. And look at the battle. Ivanicki one more time to the 41.
It's really something, Mike, because coaches are creatures of habit. And what I mean by that is that he had success on the option play, so he comes right back and runs it again. Excellent job of stopping it by Pal Park.
Check that was Mark Pokai, number 22 on the carry. Picks up about 3 yards. Pokai, 5'8", 170 pounds out of his fullback position. This should be the final play of the quarter. A fumble, and Palisades Park recovers their 2nd fumble of the 1st quarter. So this cold weather, Billy, may be having havoc with the Wallington offense.
Well, Mike, I think that was a ball handling miscue because the running back never received the ball. There was a fake up the middle with the hand. I think maybe somebody touched him to get the ball out. But this is the 2nd turnover Pal Park has picked up. This is the 1st time they've been in Wallington's territory the entire game. They must take advantage of it. I would like to see them do something real big right now as the end of the quarter comes.
Well, the clock runs down in the 1st quarter, and in a quick 1st quarter, that's it. Wallington has a 3-0 lead as we head to break. When we come back, Palisades Park will be with the win. Stay with us. Yard line, so a nice gain by line.
That was Pal Park's biggest gain of the year, and Babe Mangelia has kind of dumped his double wide receiver offense for a while, and he's come back to what he does best. And I think that may be the best move of the game because it got Wallington spread out a little bit. Now he's bringing them back in.
Well, it's certainly keeping Coach Von Tobel and the rest of his staff thinking. The fullback, Tariq Ali, who's through, and he could be gone. Touchdown, Palisades Park, Tariq Ali. What a burst through the middle. The offensive line coming through, opening a gigantic hole for Ali, and once he got out into the secondary, he did the rest all by himself, BT.
Well, the offensive line opened an excellent hole. Ali shows the great leg movement of a running back and goes in for a big touchdown. And that's what a team has to do. When another team makes a mistake, you got to capitalize on it. Excellent job by Pal Park.
And we were wondering before about Elkin Palisades, and he is in there. The place kicker is back for the Tigers. It's down, and this one is perfect. And Palisades Park on Tariq Ali's 33-yard touchdown run has a 7-3 lead. Last year, Billy Taylor, and most of our fans remember, who saw the game between Wallington and Palisades Park in the state playoffs, Tariq Ali was injured. He did not play in that game. And certainly he came back with a vengeance this year.
Really shows you what a difference when you have your star runner out of the game, because last year people didn't even make note of Ali not being there in lieu of the loss. Now this year he comes back, makes a 34-yard run, and I think it was set up by getting positive yardage on 1st down, keeping their 2nd down situation to short and minimum. I think it was a great call by Babe Mangelia.
The Tigers with a 7-3 lead, 11:23 left in the 2nd quarter. You can't say the wind helped them on that one, Billy, though. It was a running play that did the job for them, but certainly it has to keep you thinking when you have such a good passing game at Palisades Park. Wallington must be saying they may be going to pass more here in the second.
And I thought because they had got the wind that they may be able to pass in that situation. But I think that Pal Park took advantage of a miscue by Wallington, which is what a good football team has got to do. Now, on the other hand, it's hard to make these kind of mistakes and still come out victorious, so Wallington has their back against the wall. They're the defending champions, and really Pal Park has upped their level in this championship situation.
Well, Alzate kicked the extra point, but he will not be kicking off. It's Charlie Villano who did the place kicking while Alzate was injured that will do the kicking. And last week, he put one out of the end zone. The wind was with him, but still that was one heck of a kick by Charlie Villano. So he's kicking off. Ivanicki and McGrinney back to receive for the Wallington Panthers. And this one is out of the end zone again. Well, Charlie Villano is proving to all of us that he can kick the ball pretty good, bro.
Well, when you got that kind of wind, I think even you, Mike, with your lack of talent at punting,
I don't know if the wind was blowing that hard when he kicked it, though. That was a pretty good kick.
Well, I feel it up here, Mike. That wind is gusting.
So Wallington comes out with a 1st and 10 situation. Their first drive of the second quarter, their first drive against the wind.
And this is the deepest they've been in their own territory, and this will give them a chance to really show what they can do offensively.
They start out at the 20-yard line, and on a quick handoff, Palisades Park comes up with the defensive play. Charlie Villano with the tackle. Mark Pokai carried for about a yard, so it's second down.
No gain. 2nd and 10.
We'll check that. No gain there. 20-yard line, the ball is placed. 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers. Vellis with the handoff, and this is going one more time to Mark Pokai, and again, the Pal Park defense is surging.
Well, Terry Garley is showing you his toughness, and he's fired up after making that touchdown, as you see him right there. And you watch the replay, it comes from his outside linebacker, it cuts the running back down before he gets a chance to get momentum going, and that's what a good linebacker's got to do to stop a good running game.
So on the 1-yard gain, it's 3rd and 9 for Wallington. Vellis on the pitch. It's Ivanicki who's got it, and he may have a first down. A cutback to the inside, and he's still on his feet, and he may be gone. Nobody's going to get him. Sean Ivanicki on the option play goes all the way. 79 yards for a score, but ladies and gentlemen, there's a flag on the field.
Into the end zone.
And it looks like they're going to bring it back, Billy.
That's probably the worst thing that could happen. They ran a perfect option play. The quarterback, Vellis, pitched it out at the right time, and the play goes against Pal Park, Mike.
Normally, you figure it's going to be a holding of some sort, but that is not the case. They can celebrate now. A touchdown, 79 yards. Let's watch it again. Billy, he's on the outside, and watch the cutback here. This is where he made it, right there.
He shows you his quick feet by eluding defenders, by showing you what he's been doing the entire year. Breaks back to the inside, picks up good blocking, and goes 70 yards for a touchdown, Mike. Sure, I used to do that back in...
That's right. It reminds you of Billy Taylor a little bit with those.
Back in 19...
Sean Ivanicki, 5'9", 170 pounds. The senior showing his quickness. There were several times there he looked like he was stopped. I thought maybe he'd get the first down, but when all of a sudden he broke out of the pack, I think it surprised everybody, including the fans. Here's the extra point attempt by Greg Drellick, and it's good. And we have a high-scoring affair early in the second quarter. It's 10-7. Palisades Park trailing Wallington.
Well, Mike, the filling out process is over. We have settled into quite a championship game. Now it's Pal Park's time to counteract, because they've got to stop Wallington's option next time. Wallington has had success running the option, either pitching it or keeping the quarterback Vellis to keep it. Now Pal Park has got to keep his poise. They got the wind with them, and now is the time to really keep your defense off the field by sustaining a nice drive.
Well, last year's game between Wallington and Palisades Park was a humdinger, and this one is on its way to topping that one.
Well, that was an 80-yard drive in about 4 or 5 plays, and I think that is more damaging to a defense to make them have to go that quickly, that far. And I think they're going to have to make note of it, because that is the kind of stuff that wears teams out.
Ziegler, Holly, and Pilota. Back deep for the Tigers.
Palisades Park will receive the kickoff. Greg Drellick teeing it up. Pilata up on the top of your screen. Tariq Ali in the middle. And Eric Ziegler at the lower part of your screen, standing at about the 19-yard line.
I think the back guys should move up because this ball's not going to travel very far because they're kicking against the wind, but we'll see. I think Ali should move up a little bit, though.
Drellick with the line drive kick. Ali calls, and then they both let it go, and there's a fumble, and Ali falls on it. Some miscommunication between Ziegler and Ali, which could have been costly.
Well, I think that wind allowed the ball to flutter a little bit, and I don't think the ball should ever hit the ground on a kickoff. I think you have to have excellent concentration back there. You have 3 people back there, and that should never happen, Mike.
So Palisades Park takes over, wind at their back, 1st and 10, trailing 10-7. If you've just tuned in, Wallington scored on a field goal. Pal Park had a touchdown, and Wallington just came back. On 1st down, Maletic in trouble, and he is sacked. Number 89, Keith Skirby, comes up with another sack, his 10th sack of the season.
Well, I think Jason is going to have to realize that Wallington is one of the best teams in the league at putting pressure on the quarterback. So what Jason's going to have to do in the replay, he's going to have to realize he doesn't have all day because he had ample time to throw the ball, and he's either got to get rid of it or find somebody or tuck it and run it, because in that situation, when you come up 2nd and 20, that is a tough situation to get out when your offense is not doing that well.
Deep in their own territory, Palisades Park on 2nd down. Maletic with a quick drop back, going deep. He's got a man, but he overthrows Eric Ziegler. Incomplete.
He had him open too, but he just really needed another second to hold it because the defenders were closing in on him. But I like Babe Mangilia, his ability to not be conservative, a la Ray Handley of the Giants.
Well, Maletic had some time there too,
Yes,
which
he
is
did.
something that he hasn't been getting from his offensive line in passing situations. So it's 3rd down and 19. The Babe on the sidelines, getting his team pumped up and trying to come up with the right play in this situation. Maletic in trouble again, gets it away. He's got a man, but it's incomplete. The ball dropped by Tommy Johnston, but almost, it really didn't matter. It was going to come up way short of the 1st down, only good for a couple of yards.
Well, Mike, it always confuses me when you see a quarterback throw short when it's 3rd and a different situation. And I think that they wouldn't have got the 1st down anyway on the completion. That just adds to Jason Maletic's statistics.
So it's 4th down and 19.
Anxious to see this punt because he has the wind with him.
Maletic punting. McCready back, and he's got it at the 44. The fake reverse. And Glenn McCready is finally knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard side of Palisades Park. And there is an injury for Palisades Park. A Tiger is down on the field. And we'll check it out. And it looks like he's hurting quite a bit. Let's watch this replay again.
I like Coach Van Tobel, his fake reverse, because that does it creates situations for the runner, and I like what he's doing. He's not holding back. He knows this is the championship. He's bringing everything with him, and I like that when you come to this time. Now Pal Park, their back is against the wall. They've got to stop a really tough Wallington team right now.
Number 25, Tom Johnston, is the man on the field, and he's getting up under his own power. He's running off, he's just fine.
I think he got faked out on that reverse, Mike. When he was headed for the guy who did the faking, and when he found out it wasn't him, he got laid out. A football player's got to keep his antennas up at all times.
1st and 10, Wallington. The handoff to Pokai, who's getting quite a bit of the call here this afternoon. In fact, just as much, if not more than Ivan Hickey, is tackled for about a loss of a yard.
Well, that keeps him warm also because, you know, as cold as it is out here, to get the ball as many times as you can by the 2nd quarter, that the weather has no bearance on it whatsoever.
Well, you're originally from Texas, am I not right?
Yes.
Okay. Is the weather down there this time about the same?
Oh, yes. In San Antonio, where I went to high school, at this time of year, it's cold.
The handoff to Ivan Hickey, and he's stopped cold. Charlie Villano, Jeff Guerrero in on the tackle at the line of scrimmage, no gain. You know, Billy, you're talking about cold in Texas. What are you complaining about here, then? It's just as cold down
freezing.
there.
No, this is freezing.
It's not like you're from California or something.
This is freezing.
3rd down.
It's such a mental thing, Mike.
3rd down, 11. You know, these guys on the field aren't feeling any cold. Tom Fellis with the play fake. Rolls right. got a man, but it's incomplete. He throws short at the 25-yard line, so it brings up a 4th down, and the Powell Park defense is playing well.
Yes, they are. And Bellis did an excellent job on that because really there was nobody open, and instead of taking the sack, he really threw it into the ground. I think that's a good quarterback because you don't want to take the sack in that situation. They have a chance to punt and put Powell Park pretty back there on their offense. And usually Powell Park is really a little bit more conservative when they're pinned back a little bit offensively.
Manny Tejeda was the intended receiver. And on 4th down, Drellick will punt, and this one is shanked. This might be about an 8-yard punt, Billy. That's out of bounds at about the 37-yard line.
Mike, it comes up about a 5-yard punt if you're talking from the line of scrimmage. He was backed up about 12 yards to receive the snap. And I think that wind had something to do with it.
Yeah. The wind certainly had something to do with it. But how about from a mental standpoint as a punter, knowing that the wind's blowing hard, instead of just doing what you do naturally, you might think a little bit too much and wind up not even kicking it flush.
Well, it reminds me of Sean Landeta against the Chicago Bears back in 1985 when he missed the ball because of that wind in Chicago.
1st and 10 Tigers. Just under 8 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. Mike Kersey and Billy Taylor calling the action for you here at Palisades Park. Tariq Ali coming up with the quick one off tackle to the 41-yard line. And right now, let's go back down to the field for Fred Demers.
Just a quick injury update. Tommy Johnston went down just a few moments ago. It's nothing serious. He just had the wind knocked out of him, and we can look for him to return very shortly. Mike and Billy?
All right, Fred, there you have it. Not having the antennas up, you could say, for Tommy Johnston, but he's okay. On the reverse, Eric Ziegler is down at the 31-yard line, and this time, Billy, it doesn't work.
Well, when you do a reverse, 2 things can happen. As you look at the replay, the defense by Milanicki put excellent pressure on Palisade Park, and it's hard to run a reverse when the defensive ends are coming upfield so hard. So Babe Mangeli is going to have to throw that one out.
That play was read so well, it's almost like Wallington knew exactly when they were going to run it. So it's 3rd down and about 18 yards to go for Powell Park. They've been in this situation before. In fact, last drive, Maletic with some time, he's got a man, but overthrows Eric Ziegler. Covered well by number 28, Walter Zamborski. Did a great job sticking with him man-to-man.
And Sean Avanicki put great pressure on Jason Maletic, and really, Jason, he's beginning to feel the pressure that Wallington's being put on him, and I think it's a good time for a draw in those situations to at least stop the pressure of Wallington's excellent defensive front seven.
And McGreeny is back deep.
So it's 4th down, 18. Avanicki and McGreeny will be back for the punt. And Maletic gets off a pretty good one with the wind, and it bounces over McGreany's head. It has not been touched yet. And it's down inside the 5-yard line. It is Wallington's ball. The ball was never touched. So the Panthers will take over, but they take over in field position, which is not necessarily advantageous to them.
Well, as you look at the replay, the ball took a sail as it got to the runner, and I think it looked as if he did touch it. I think we should allow the officials to look at our replay. But that's a big play.
Well, the ball looks like it's down at the 2-yard line.
You see Babe Mangeli, he's out on the field. He is smoking, and he's got a right to be because I felt the defender or the offensive player touched the ball, and the fans realized that something's got to. Yep, they called it right, Mike.
They changed it around. After discussing, the officials have said Palisades Park has the ball. The ball was touched apparently by McGreeny as it went over his head. They call Von on the sidelines. Has a beef with the officials now. But Palisades Park is 1st and goal.
But see, I felt it wasn't any question whether he touched the ball again because when the ball began to rise a little bit as it got to him, it touched his fingertips, went over his head. Great hustling player for Palisade Park to recover the fumble. Now Powell Park has the ball on the 10-yard line, and they've got to get something out of this, Mike.
Well, they come up to the line, but Von Tobel is still on the field trying to discuss things. I don't know if we can get this replay back again, but certainly I'd love to see it a little bit closer and see where he really did touch the ball. It looked like it may have been a little bit over his head, but Billy, you caught it, may have touched his fingertips, and according to at least one official out there, that was their call. if that's the case, they made the correct call, and Palisades Park hasn't. You know, the babe has to be a happy man.
Well, I felt that the impetus of the ball did hit his fingers to maybe make the football go a different way, and that's why I felt that it was a true fumble. Excellent hustle by Pal Park.
So the Tigers, who trail by 3 with 6:29 to go in the half. The state sectional finals, the Tigers and the Panthers. This is Palisades Park, first trip to the sectional finals, and they're trying to make the most of it. First and goal, the handoff to Tariq Ali, and the surge up front may not have been enough to get him in.
I think it was an excellent surge by the offensive line of Pal Park, and that's what they have to do. It goes like Paul Hand, Paul Granazio, Eric Zitz. They've really got to do an excellent job opening the holes because they've got to take advantage of this turnover, and I think special teams really shows you how valuable they are in a championship situation.
Well, was at the 3-yard line.
So it's second down and goal from the 3. Ali in the backfield along with number 20, Ray Perez, the lead blocker. And he goes right over Perez and into the end zone. Touchdown, Tariq Ali from 3 yards away. And the Tigers now lead it by a score of 13-10. Dave Angelia, Billy, brought Ray Perez in as the blocking back. You don't usually find him in the backfield, but he was the lead blocker. And if you watch it, he went right through, right behind Perez and right over him. And that helped get the touchdown.
Well, anytime you score on the goal line, you have to have good blocking up front. The entire offensive line got an excellent surge. Tariq Ali showed you that he's definitely missed last year.
Palisades with the extra points. And he misses wide to the left. So Palisades Park holds on to their 3-point lead. It's 13-10 with 5:40 left to go here in the second quarter. And we'll be right back with more in a moment. Lead, 5:40 to go here in the second quarter. 13-10, Palisades Park ahead on the miscue by Glenn McGreeny. The ball just touching his fingers, going over his head off the punt. The ball recovered inside the 5 by the Tigers, and then Tariq Ali taking it in for a 3-yard touchdown.
Well, Mike, that's the third turnover by Wallington. Twice Pal Park has turned it into points. That's what a good football team has got to do, take advantage of the other team's miscues.
Millardo with the kickoff, and it's deep. McGreeny at the goal line, and he decides not to run it out. Sean Ivanicki back there as well, probably telling him, listen, Glenn, you better not leave. Just hang right here. We'll take it at the 20-yard line.
Well, so now this is another difficult situation for Wallington. They're backed up inside their 20. They've really got to put some kind of yardage on the board because their defense has got to be a little bit tired from having to play out there. And on the other side, Pal Park's defense is really going to have to shut them down right here, take the momentum and the confidence away from Wallington.
First and 10, Wallington. A quick handoff inside. Good for a couple of yards. Mark Hokai coming up with the few yards there.
Well, Van Tobel seems like he's getting a little bit conservative because he hasn't really come up with any scheme as far as what to do against that Pal Park defense. They've had an excellent job of running the option play, but they haven't gone back to it since they had that last touchdown.
Van Tobel probably still steaming over the call by the officials, which gave the ball back to Palisades Park. The handoff on second down, Sean Ivanicki gets out to about the 29-yard line.
You know, I like this Ivanicki guy, Mike. He runs with reckless abandon. He's tough. He's got quick feet, and he's not that big of a character. He's only about 5'9", 170, but he's a tough kid with a lot of heart, and he's the leader of that team.
So it brings up a 3rd down and 1 situation. The fake by Fellis, and then he goes inside, and he's close to the first down. I would say that he has it, and he does. Wallington, I think it's the first down.
Well, Mike, I think it's very important for Wallington to pick up a first down in this situation because the momentum is beginning to go over to Pal Park's side, but anytime you move the sticks, you can create at least a momentum for your own offensive team, and that's what they need right now.
On first down, Ivanicki is stopped after about a gain of a yard. Ray Perez and company in on the tackle.
Palisades and Orlando on the stop. A 2-yard pickup. 2nd and 8.
And you must give credit to the Pal Park defensive line. Ray Perez, Tony Merkovic, Joe Orlando, Frank Bracco, coming up big in tough situations again. It's 2nd down and 8 on the quick one. Close to a 1st down.
His pass is complete to Havlenka.
Tim Havlenka.
I like that. And that's usually coaching, because what happens is that the guys up in the press box, they know that the defensive back is playing off a little bit. Then they throw that little quick screen play to the wide receiver, who picks up positive yardage. They've got a 3rd and about 3, Mike, and I think this is a crucial situation for both teams. Wallington's got to have it, and Powell Park wants to keep the momentum.
Havlenka stepping out at the 39, so it brings up a 3rd and 3. The quick handoff.
To Ivanicki.
And it looks like there's enough for the 1st down there. And it is another 1st down on this drive for Wallington. There's Mark Pokai on the carry for the 1st down.
7 yards for the 1st down at the 42.
So right now, BT, a time-consuming drive. Just under 4 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Fellas with the fake. Ray Perez on the chase, and Bronco as well. He gets it off to Ivanicki. And can this kid make some moves or what, Billy? I tell you, he's impressing me every time he gets his hands on the ball.
First, you got to be impressed with Vellis, the quarterback, for avoiding the rush, for showing his agility to bide himself a little bit more time. Then you definitely have to be impressed with Ivanicki. And I would be scared to tackle this guy in the open field, because he's got quick feet, he's got toughness, he's got acceleration once he gets in the open field. And I think that the Powell Park Tigers are going to have to deal with him in the 2nd half, because he's the one that's doing the damage this entire 1st half against Powell Park Tigers.
Well, Ivanicki comes up just short of the 1st down. It's 2nd down and 1. Where he stepped out of bounds. 3.5 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Vellis will bring his team up to the line. And he's dropped straight back. And it's incomplete, intended for Greg McGreeny, number 11, Tariq Ali on the coverage.
That's one of the hardest passes to throw against this wind, because he's throwing from the other side of the field, a simple out pattern. And he's got to put the ball perfect, because Tariq Ali was right there with him. But I think the wind had something to do with that and going with this weather.
2 solid quarterbacks going for each side. Vellis, 6'4", 185 pounds, and Jason Miletic, 6'4", and 200 pounds. 2 of the best around. So on 3rd and 1, it's the handoff, and Pokai looks like he maybe stopped short, unless he got the surge at the last second. We'll see where they spot it.
Bronco on the carry.
And it is a 1st down, and we'll be right back.
From Belleau Wood to Verdun, Okinawa to Iwo Jima, Incheon to Chosin, Kantien to Kaisan, Basra to Kuwait. They've been on the job for 75 years for their country and their Corps. Happy 75th birthday to the United States Marine Corps Reserve. Semper Fidelis.
Look who's discovered holiday shopping in Cliffside Park. With over 200 stores and restaurants to serve you, Cliffside Park shopping can satisfy even the longest Christmas list. With plenty of parking, shopping in Cliffside Park's a breeze. Both Santa and Mrs. Claus have found a warm holiday welcome at the following stores. Krug's, the Everyman's Men's Store, 685 Anderson Avenue. Finger Fitness, where we exercise the best in nail, facial, and body care. Style, quality, and personal service. You'll find them all at Dainty 2.
2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8.
Welcome back on the first down play. It was a 2-yard pickup for Mark Pokai. So a balanced attack, at least from his split backs, Pokai and Ivanicki for Carl Von Tobel so far. It brings up a 2nd and 8, 2:40 to go, and counting here in the first half. The score 13-10, Palisades Park in front. The fake to Pokai, and Velas will keep it on the option, and tackled at the 39, tripped up by number 13, Teddy Lubis. And you and I both agree that Teddy Lubis plays big, although he's just a small guy.
Well, he made a tackle right then, which could have prevented, which definitely prevented a long game by Velas, because if he hadn't have been there, Lubis, who's probably the smallest man at 140 pounds on the field, but the toughest guy, prevented a big gain.
So it's 3rd down and 1, Velas with the handoff to Ivanicki, and he stopped at the 40-yard line, maybe the 39, but he will not have the first down. Well, the clock runs with under 2 minutes to go, Bill.
This is definitely 4-down territory. They'll definitely go for it because they've had a very successful drive. They started inside the 20. They took it all the way past midfield, and you know they're going to go for it, Mike.
Well, Ray Perez coming up big inside one more time with the stop, so apparently the injury he had earlier in the game has subsided.
Well, sometimes when you play in a championship game like this, those injuries have a tendency to go away, especially in lieu of this gigantic game.
4th and 1 for Wallington. The handoff, and he's not going to get it, and the ball is loose. Picked up by Maletic, and he's across the 50 to the 48-yard line. Palisades Park on the 4th Wallington turnover comes up with a golden opportunity with 1:14 to go in the first half.
Well, Pal Park's defense has come up big the entire day. As you look at the replay, he simply knocked it out of his hand. Jason Maletic picked it up. That's the 4th turnover for Wellington. And I think right now, Pal Park should go for it, because usually after a turnover, I feel the offensive team should give an effort on trying to come up with a big play or a trick play at this time.
Well, Palisades Park calls a timeout, and we'll take a timeout and bring it right back with 1st and 10 for Palisades Park. The score, the Tigers 13, the Panthers 10.
The alarm has sounded across the U.S. The issue? Telephone deregulation. Local phone companies in all states are attempting to deregulate their rates and profits. The 50 million member Consumer Federation of America says deregulation is wrong and will lead to an avalanche of higher phone bills. Call your local legislators. Tell them you don't want your phone company getting rich at your expense.
Welcome back to Vince Lombardi Field. Mike Kersey, Billy Taylor, bringing you all the action of the state sectional final. North Jersey, Group 1, Section 1, the Tigers of Palisades Park and the Panthers of Wallington. And Billy, in this situation, you think the Tigers would have to maybe throw the ball a little bit to get into field goal range. They do have their field goal kicker back, and you have to think they'd use him as well.
Well, Pal Park's coming off with 3 receivers to the right side. They look for Jason Maletic to roll the opposite way and throw back.
And there he goes, Maletic on the rollout, going downfield. He's got a man! Jason Pilata! Jason Pilata with the reception. BT calling it right on the button. He's all smiles up here. You should be an offensive coordinator there. Maybe Babe's looking for somebody.
As you see, he rolls the opposite way of the receivers. He's got one man who's in man-to-man coverage, puts the ball right on the money, and this gentleman has had an excellent playoff couple games as they get down inside the 20-yard line. Big play, and I think after a turnover, you've got to go for a big play or some trick situation that keeps your team with their momentum.
I'll tell you what, though, Billy, the touch on that ball from a senior quarterback,
going the opposite way of his arm,
basically throwing off balance. It was just a beautiful pass, and I can see why Rutgers and Boston College and Ohio State and the rest are after Maletic.
I'll tell you, this kid's got everything. He's got the size, 6'4", to see over the lineman. He's got the arm to be able to get the ball there in time for the receiver to have room to run, and he's got the poise to be a leader. And I think we're going to see him somewhere down the line on television one Saturday afternoon in one of the college games of the week, Mike.
I talked to Super J last week after the game, and I asked him about some of the schools that he was looking at, and he said, well, I'm not really concerning myself with it right now. I want to wait until the season's over, we have one more game, and then I can concentrate on making a decision, and really that's the best way to go.
What'd you call him, Super J?
Super J.
Super J.
I put that moniker on him last year, and he hasn't forgiven me yet. 1st and 10, Palisades Park. 1:05 left in the first half. The Tigers looking to add to their lead here in the sectional finals. Maletic rolls out to the right this time. He fires, and it's incomplete. It comes up short. In fact, it was smart for Super J to keep it low because that ball could have been intercepted.
Well, Babe Mangilia went back to his double receiver offense where he had 2 receivers on each side. He had abandoned that in the first quarter. He's back to it. I don't really see it showing an advantage because I didn't see anybody open on the play. And I think the best thing is maybe for Jason Maletic to tuck the ball and run himself because he's putting so much pressure on the defense by rolling out. And I think this is a situation with 1 minute left in the half where they have to come away with points, Mike. I think it's imperative for them to at least come away with a minimum of 3 points, if not 6 or 7.
Well, Babe Mangilia and his staff coming up with the second down play.
Double receivers to each side, Mike.
Maletic rolls out to the right again, and he looks into the end zone, and touchdown! Darden Bolali comes up with the score, reaching up over the safety's head. I don't know how he came up with that one. He just kind of stuck his hands up over the helmet, and bingo, touchdown.
As you look to the replay, Jason Maletic rolls to his right, puts the ball only where the offensive line can catch it, and comes up with a big play. And I think that is really going to have to be looked at later on in the second half, because for them to be up by almost 10 points at halftime, then I think it's a tribute to Powell Park taking advantage of turnovers.
Indeed, the Tigers are going Panther hunting, as the sign said. And there's a flag as we get ready for the extra point conversion. It's 19-10, Palisades Park ahead, and that is big with less than a minute to go here in the first half.
Call against the Panthers. They'll move the ball half the distance to the goal.
Now the penalty is against Wallington, and all it's going to do is move it a couple of feet.
You know, in this situation, Mike, you have to think about possibly going for 2, because the ball was moved a foot closer or a yard closer, and that gives you a chance to possibly pick up 2 points. And I think that the lead that they have going to half is what might happen in the second half. It could be a big help for Powell Park against Wallington.
Palisades with the extra point, and this one is perfect. So the Tigers up their lead to 20-10, just short of the intermission. And I tell you, the Tigers, they came out a little rocky to start the game, but they've been roaring ever since.
Well, you know, you got to give Powell Park a lot of credit, because they've taken advantage of the 4 turnovers by Wallington and really put some points on the board. I think that's very, very positive. At least most of the 20 points on the board for Powell Park are the result of turnovers by Wallington. But on the other hand, you have to say Coach Van Tobel has got to say, well, we've played a terrible half. We got 4 turnovers. We're only down by 10 points. We've got another half of football left to play to get back in the game.
Well, Wallington will receive the kickoff. Charlie Velardo teeing it up. The last time he kicked it to the goal line. The time before that, he sent it out of the end zone.
And I think we must make note of the win, because who gets the win in the 4th quarter in the second half could be the difference in this ball game. You see what the win has done for Powell Park thus far.
Back to receive, Ivanicki and McGreeny. Velardo gets the signal, and he's ready. And he sends it to McGreeny, number 11. Picks it up at the 5-yard line. Comes out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line, where he leaps for a couple of extra yards. So Wallington takes over 1st and 10 with 48 seconds to go against the wind. Billy, do you run out the clock, or do you try to give it a shot?
I think you run out the clock in this situation, because you're going against the wind. Your team has had 4 turnovers. They haven't played well in the first half. And I think you go back in the second half, make the proper adjustments, and come out and make this be one heck of a second half.
Well, it's been one heck of a first half so far.
Yes, it has. Powell Park has really played as well as we've seen them all year, and it's a tribute to Babe Mangilia.
First down, Vellis barks his signals. He's back to pass. You would have to think he'd do something safe here, and he does. He throws it away. Last thing you want to do is throw an interception and give Palisades Park another chance to score.
Well, Carl Van Tobel is not satisfied by going in down by 10. He wants to at least get his team in a position to kick a field goal, but he's got so many things going against him. The wind would be going against him for a field goal attempt. Passing attempt would be a negative situation, but I think Tom Vellis really showed you poise as a quarterback by just throwing it up in the section 8.
Well, Von Tobel certainly has not become 18-3 over 2 years in Wallington by being conservative. So it's 2nd and 10, and Vellis will throw again. And he runs out of the pocket and gives it a shot across the 30-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down play, and it looks like they're just going to let it run down, Bill.
If I was Tom Vellis, I'd rather throw the ball into the 3rd section than take that hit by those 4 defenders, because they looked like they were trying to tear him into 2 halves.
And the clock does indeed run down. And that's the end of the first half here at Vince Lombardi Memorial Field in the sectional final. Or is it? The players are running back to the locker room, but apparently Wallington has called a timeout. The clock said 0, but Wallington did call a timeout, so we will have one more play.
Well, it's getting cold out here, Mike. The wind in the second half probably will be up a little bit, and I think that the team that has the lead at the half, without a doubt, has the advantage. I think it's going to come down to who takes the win in the 4th quarter, because so far I think the win is probably the biggest reason why Powell Park is ahead by 10 points now.
Well, I'd have to agree with you, Billy, that the Tigers are certainly playing the best that I've seen them play the entire year. Maybe in the 2 years that I've been covering them, they certainly are playing maybe even above themselves a little bit, so far at least in the first half.
Well, I think the experience of getting here last year had to help them. And Babe Mangilia, this is his 3rd trip to the playoff, and I think that gives him a little bit of momentum to realize how to get his team ready in this situation. I think right now they have played well defensively and offensively. They've taken advantage of the mistakes, and that's what a good football team has got to do in these situations, Mike.
Well, the Babe, for the 3rd consecutive year, we said our congratulations, has been named as the BCSL National Coach of the Year, taking his Tigers from out of the doldrums just 5 years ago when they were 1-8. And bringing them to the state playoffs for the 3rd consecutive year, finally to the sectional finals, and so far making the most of it, up by 10 points. 5 seconds to go in the first half in Wallington on 3rd down. Out of the shotgun, the first time we've seen this all afternoon. Vellis with no time runs out of the pocket. Perez on the chase. He throws long downfield, and it's intercepted by Darnan Bilali at the 45, the 40, and he's still on his feet. And he's tackled finally back at the 49. No lateral on that play. You'd have to say it was smart in order for him not to throw the ball back. Sometimes you see the player on an interception late in the half or late in the game lateral and throw the ball away, but he just tucked it away and took his licking, and Palisades Park stops that attempted pass and will go into the locker room with a 10-point lead. The score right now, Palisades Park 20 and Wallington 10. We'll be back with our halftime activities in a moment.
The New Jersey Fragrance and Lingerie Outlet is where you'll find
Palisades Park came back on a 33-yard run by Tariq Ali.
Well, that was, I think, the momentum factor to put them back in the game, to realize they can score against them. They took advantage of a turnover, and I think that's what good teams have to do, Mike.
All right, the Panthers had a 79-yard run then by Sean Ivanicki with a great run showing that his prowess on the field.
Well, I think the whole game has been determined by the win, which team takes the win, and also the turnovers that Wallington has to enable Palisade Park to take advantage.
Well, that made it 10-7. Ali then had a 3-yard run to make it 13-10, and then Jason Miletic to Darnan Bilali made it 20-10, and that's where we stand right now. And let's go down to the field to Fred Demarest. He talked to Babe Mangilia just before they went in for the half. Fred?
Well, Mike and Billy, before the game, I talked to the Babe Mangilia, about his keys to success today. First of all, stopping the run. Second of all, containing the tight ends. And finally, stopping the quarterback. Asked for an assessment at halftime. He was pleased with the containment of the tight ends and what they did with the quarterback, but they definitely have to stop the run better than they did in the first half. As far as having momentum coming into the second half, openly stated, Mangilia said there's no such thing as momentum when it comes to a state playoff game. Back up to Mike and BT.
All right, Fred, there you have it. Babe Mangilia says there is no such thing as momentum. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I think he's just using a coach's line, because anytime your team can have anything to raise their confidence level, then it will help you come in the fourth quarter. Now, what we have to take note of in the second half is who takes the win, which direction. Right now, Wallington's going to have the win. They're going to see what they're going to do with it.
And Velardo just pounds it on the ground. The ball is loose and recovered at the 30-yard line. And a smart play. They didn't give Wallington a chance to run it back.
Well, they're going against that win, and usually in the first half what we saw was they didn't get very much distant on their kicks. And I think right now Wallington's got to come out with a lot more intensity in the second half if they're going to have a chance to reduce this 10-point deficit.
So it's 1st and 10. Tom Bellis, number 10, hands off. Maybe 2 yards on the play. Ivan Nicky getting very little.
Well, it looks like Wallington is coming out and doing what it does best. They're not panicking because they realize that all they have to do is show some consistency and hang on to the ball, and they've had success against that Powell Park defense. On the other hand, Powell Park has got to realize that this is the second half of a championship game, and they've got to come out fired up.
McGreeny in motion. The play fake and the pitch. And he's stuffed at about the 31-yard line. Sean Ivanicki with nowhere to go.
Well, great defense. Teddy Lubas, the fine number 13, the smallest guy on the defense, comes up to support the run, does an excellent job of stopping the option, and that play has been hurting Powell Park in the first half, that option play, and Powell Park comes out in the second half and stops it.
So it's 3rd and 8, Vellis. Goes out wide, and it's Zembaski. And he's down at about the 40-yard line. Walter Zamborski. And it's going to be very close to a first down, and then you have to measure for this one coming from the other side of the field with the markers.
I think he has it on the play, but I think what really impressed me is they had success in the first half throwing that quick screen to the receiver, and I think it really was effective, and I think that was an excellent job by Coach Van Tobel by calling it early in the second half.
Well, they will bring the first down markers to the opposite side of the field. We'll take you right there on the field with the great camera coverage that we've had the past 2 weeks as we've covered these playoff games for you.
First down for the Panthers.
And right there you have it, first down for Wallington.
At the 40.
It really shows you a lot when they come out in the first half and get the first down of the half. That gives your team a little bit of chance to kind of get a little bit looser. It gives them a chance to get in the flow of the game, and I think it really is a momentum factor for them to come out and get a first down early.
1st and 10. Tom Vellis and the Panthers. McGreeny in motion. And the handoff to Pokai, and Pokai finds a hole, gets himself out to the 47-yard line.
I think it's very important to come up with positive yardage on first down. Anytime you get at least 4 yards on first down, brings your second down situations up to a minimum and keeps the defense at bay by them not dictating what you should be doing offensively.
2nd and 5.
So it'll be about 2nd down, 5 yards to go. A quick one to the side, Zamborski again. And he gets maybe a yard on the play. Good pursuit by the Powell Park defense.
And you look at Tarek Ali comes up fast for support, and I think against that quick screen, until they stop it, you're gonna have to come up a little faster so the support of that. He was able to gain 2 yards on that. This is a very critical 3rd down situation, because if they do not make it, I think early in the game you're gonna have to punt.
The ball sitting on the 47-yard line in Wallington territory. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. And the quick handoff, and immediately stopped at the line of scrimmage. The Wallington Panthers with nowhere to go. Sean Ivanicki stopped cold.
Excellent job by the defensive line of Powell Park. Now it's 4th and about 1.5. It's a big decision for Coach Van Tobel. It looks like he's already decided to go for it. And I think early in the game, this is probably one of the biggest plays, because they're down by 10. The offense has picked up a couple first downs. This is a crucial 4th down play, and this could be one of the big plays of this game, Mike.
Indeed. 4th down 2. Vellis with the surprise snap. I don't think he expected it as quickly as he got it, but once he got the handle, he got the first down on the keeper. And a big play for the Wallington Panthers, picking up the first down across the midfield line at about the 49-yard line.
Well, that was a big play because it keeps their drive going, keeps them with momentum. It lets them realize they can run the ball against that Powell Park defense. And now Powell Park's got to dig in tough because they are the ones who are having to defend against this excellent running team of Wallington, the Panthers.
First down.
McGreeny in formation, handing off.
And it's Mark Pokai. Pokai comes out to about the 47-yard line, maybe a gain of 2 on that one. They're just pounding away at the Powell Park defense. Little by little, they picked up a couple of first downs on this drive, and that's the way they're going to go.
Well, Coach Van Tobel has made it very simple for what his offense has to do, is just maintain and hold the ball. If they can do that, they have a chance to score.
2nd and 8. Levenka in motion. Vellis looks that side, going deep to Levenka, and it's off his hands. Beautiful pass by Vellis, but Levenka couldn't come up with it. And it just fell to the ground. It would have been 6 easy for the Panthers.
He threw that ball as effortlessly as you could. Put the ball right on the money. Sometimes you hit the receivers in the wrong place in their hands, and it makes it tough to bring it in. On a cold day, you got to sympathize with the receiver because those hands have got to be a little bit freezing in these conditions.
But I don't think you can get a much better pass than what Vellis threw. That was right on the hands right there. So it's 3rd down and 8. Vellis back to pass, under pressure, out into the flat, and it's caught by Ivan Hickey at the 46. It'll be a loss of about 6 yards. Another great effort by the linebacking core of Palisades Park.
Well, Teddy Lubis, the smallest guy on the field at 5'7", 140 pounds, he's one of the best supporters who are coming up and stopping the run. That time he smelled out the screen. It was a good play to come back for Wallington, but excellent job by Powell Park for smelling it out.
Take a look at Teddy Lubis, and hey, if you're a small guy, you say, well, maybe too small to play football. Take a look at him. He is a great player. On the punt, Haragami. At the 20, across the 25, about the 30-yard line. So he returns it for about 11 yards. Nice return by Horigami, just a sophomore.
What I give Horigami credit for is fielding the ball because they were going with the wind was really going with Wallington, and they were able to receive the ball, which something Wallington did not do in the first half.
So now, Billy, you're up by 10 points. You're Babe Mongilia, which I know you like to be.
Don't get conservative on me now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to know. Keep it on the ground or pass. We know that Billy wants to throw it. Forget it. Ali. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Possibly a gain of a yard, but they were expecting it.
You know, this is a similar situation. Reminds me of the New York Giants, who you and I both cover on Sundays, where they come out on first down when they have a lead and then run the ball right up the middle and allow their defense to try to keep them in the game. And you know, the Giants have had teams come back on them in the second half. Babe Mangeli cannot have this because he wants this championship.
Tigers lead 20-10, state sectional final. The handoff to David Lai, and he's got nowhere to go. And there's that conservative offense, PT. Gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
But then again, he may be waiting for the wind in the second half. That is his advantage to have the win in the fourth quarter. And if he can keep things at bay until he gets the win, that may be the difference in the game. Because you see how easy Tom Vellis threw that potential touchdown pass a few minutes ago. I think if he can get the win to Jason to have that, then they'll be able to put more points on the board.
Eric Ziegler goes wide, top of the screen. And Maletic rolls to that side, looking downfield, and he throws it up. Glenn McGreeny picks it off at the 47-yard line. That ball, just a lame duck up there, and McGreeny looked like he was the intended receiver.
Well, it was ill-advised pass. It was an ill-advised pass because he was rolling to his right. He was double covered. He threw into coverage. And maybe this may be better than the punt because I don't know if he could have punted that well going against that wind. As you look at the replay, there was pressure coming from his backside and his front side. He began to feel it. He threw into double coverage. Bad throw, and it was just like a punt, though. We'll see what Palisades Park can do on defense.
1st and 10, 48-yard line, Wallington. Vellis looking downfield. He's got a man, but it's incomplete. Walter Zamborski couldn't get his hands on this one.
You know, I'm impressed with this Vellis kid because he's got the size at 6'4" to see over the defense, and he's putting the ball right on the money. He can't throw it and catch it at the same time, Mike.
5:47 left to go here in the third quarter. Mike Hersey, Billy Taylor from Vince Lombardi Memorial Field in Palisades Park, and kind of apropos for this field to have a championship game, considering that Vince Lombardi took the Packers to 2 Super Bowl championships. The handoff. Mark Pokai across the midfield line down to the 44-yard line in Palisades Park territory.
Well, that was an excellent run on second down, and I think that really gives them a chance to do something. They're in Pal Park territory, and they realize that this is not going to happen all game. They've got to take advantage of the win and the chance that they have a first down or a chance to make a first down on third down.
So it is a third down at the 44. 3rd and 1. And the pitch left to Ivanicki. And this one's read pretty well, but it looks like he may have squirmed through for the first down. We'll see where they place the ball.
But Mike, Ivanicki brought the spot back a little bit. I think is a little short. It is 4th down, but they're going to have to go for it because they're already in Pal Park territory, and even if they punted the ball, it wouldn't do them any good because they have to win against him. But Ivanicki, you've really got to be impressed with him. It takes more than 1 or 2 people to tackle him because he squirms. He does whatever he can to get that extra yards, and you got to really be impressed with him as a running back.
Carr Von Tobel, knowing how crucial this 4th down is. Vellis on the keeper, and he gets the first down again. And often in key situations, Vellis is finding room just to pick up enough for the first down, 3 or 4 yards here and there. They haven't been able to stop him on that type of play yet.
Well, I think the fake to the running back really helped him to follow the running back to get that positive yardage, because right now he knew where the sticks was, and he picked up a valuable first down for Wallington.
Vellis had 6 rushing touchdowns this year, along with 11 in the air. There's a fumble. Ivanicki could not handle it. The 6th turnover of the game, and Palisades Park recovers another fumble in a key situation. Wallington shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, if you were to say to me that a team had 6 turnovers in a championship game, as you look at the replay, it hit off his hip. Now, sometimes when the ball is cold, the ball can get on your hip, and he wasn't able to get it into the running back's crouch. And I think that sometimes is the difference in the game. If you fumble and turn the ball over 6 times, it's really hard for you to win any type of game unless you got some excellent talent on the field.
Give credit to that line again. Bronco, Orlando, Merkovic, and Perez doing the job for the Tigers defensively. So they take over 1st and 10. Ali inside, finds some room on the cutback, and a pretty move. He had nowhere to go left side and kind of moved his feet to the right and got through for a gain of about 5-yard line.
Well, sometimes a running back cannot always get good holes, and that's what really he's got to do a lot of it on his own. Tariq Ali got those 3 tough yards on his own because he was hit in the backfield at the line of scrimmage, squirmed free, and picked up a positive 3 yards.
Make that a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7 for the Tigers. The ball edging towards the 46. They're in their own territory, and Ali again coming up with very little.
What is happening is Dave Milanicki and Barry Blaubelt, those guys are getting great penetration for the Wallington defense. Anytime you get penetration on a running play, it makes the running back have to make moves before he gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's what's hurting Wallington. Pal Park. I predict that if Pal Park can get to the 4th quarter with a 10-point lead and have the win, then they'll put this game away, Mike.
3rd down and 7. Palisades Park against the wind here in the 3rd quarter. 2:45 and counting. Maletic fakes. It looks like he's got room. He tucks the ball away. Zamborski misses him, but the fumble is out of bounds. Walter Zamborski came from his quarterback position, almost had Maletic, and the ball fell out of Maletic's hands and rolled out at about the 50-yard line, still short of the first down.
Well, the quarterbacks have a tendency to not put the ball away when they're scrambling. As you watch on the scramble, he did not put the ball away. He had the ball a little bit outside to his side, and it just knocked off his hip. If he had kept the ball, Mike, he would have definitely had a first down to keep this drive going.
Come to the announcers booth.
So it's 4th down, about 2 at the midfield stripe, and Maletic back to punt. The wind not blowing very hard right now, but still not a very good kick. This one will be down at the 33-yard line, and Tommy Johnston is getting into it just a bit with number 83 of Wallington.
It's hard to punt against that wind like that, so they're lucky to even get that kind of territory. But for Wallington to get out of this situation without Pal Park coming away with points is a tribute to them, because They've had 6 turnovers thus far, and they're still probably going to stay with their game plan because there's still plenty of time left, Mike.
This is the North Jersey Section 1 Group 1 final. Vellis with the quick handoff and nowhere to go for the Wallington Panthers. Again, stuffed by number 59, Joe Orlando, is having a great game so far.
Oh, and Frank Bracco was in on the play, too. I think when you gang tackle, it gives your defense a better chance to sting the ball carrier. It's a tough situation to come up with no gain on first down.
Bracco also the tight end, 6 foot, 179 pounds. Vellis in trouble, back to pass. Rolls out, downfield, he's got a man, Zamborski, can't reach it. And it falls flat at the 25-yard line.
Ball incomplete.
But there's a penalty marker on the field, and we'll take a check on that.
He was over the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. As you look at the replay, Tom Vellis showed a great arm, but he was past the line of scrimmage, which is a loss of down in college ball.
The illegal receiver downfield.
Let's see exactly what the call is.
Maybe one of the offensive linemen went downfield because he was a legal receiver downfield.
Indeed.
Usually some of the offensive linemen get a little bit edgy, and when he's rolling like that, they kind of tend to have a tendency to not stay with their blocks and go downfield.
Well, someone wandered downfield, caused them the penalty. It was declined, so it will be 3rd down and 10 for the Panthers. Vellis dropping back with time, going long, and it's Levenka who cannot reach it. The ball just overthrown. Vellis to Levenka, falls at the 20-yard line.
Well, Tom Vellis has got one heck of an arm because he's putting the ball exactly where it should. And if he had a kind of receiver that had the kind of speed that he'll be used to when he gets to college. As you look at the replay, he drops straight back, has man-to-man coverage. The receiver cannot get to the ball. Really, that's where you got to put the ball in those situations. You can't fault Tom Vellis for the play as it comes up on 4th down, Mike.
Well, Jason Miletic was staying with Levenka, but still, he had him by maybe a yard. So it's 4th down and 10, and Greg Drellick with the punt, and this is a beauty. Taken by Ziegler at the 25, and he slips and falls. And that's where the Tigers will take over 1st and 10.
You can't be dissatisfied with him falling because the main thing is that he fills the punt because it doesn't allow the ball to go back any further and give you negative field position for your offense coming in.
Well, Billy, it looks like the Tigers will be able to at least hold on to the ball for 1 minute and 33 seconds here in the 3rd quarter. And when they turn it around, they will have the wind at their back. And that's the time when you said that the Tigers will be able to hold on if they can stick to this 10-point lead. It's 20-10. 1 minute 24 to go, 3rd quarter. Miletic in trouble. Maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage.
I think Babe Mangelia is really going to have to bring out everything he has because you don't want to let Wallington come back in this game after your team has played so well the entire game, 3/4 of a game, 1 quarter left in this championship season. You've got to let it all hang out right now. And Babe Mangelia is thinking, what can he do offensively to keep his defense off the field?
Well, Babe has sent in George Galanis, who is wide left. Tommy Johnston checks out. It's 2nd down. And again, Ali on the quick handoff. The ball pops loose, but the whistle blew, so momentum was stopped, and he maybe gets out to the 29-yard line.
There is no room inside the tackles for Tariq Ali to run through. Every yardage that he's gotten on his own has literally been because he's been able to fight off tackles and break tackles with his great leg strength. But I think what they're going to have to do right now, they're going to have to try to get outside, spread the defense of Wallington so that you can find the cutback lanes.
3rd and 7, and it looks like they may just get the play off. 6 seconds and counting here in the 3rd quarter. They do. Miletic back to pass, and he throws over the middle for Darden Malali, but he misses. It falls incomplete, and that will end the 3rd quarter. So the teams will change ends, and when we come back, we'll get into the 4th quarter in the state sectional final between Palisades Park and Wallington. The score, the tie gets off a good punt. And it's handed to McGreedy, and there's a flag, and it's probably a face mask penalty on Palisades Park. Tommy Johnston coming up with the tackle, but He probably grabbed the face mask of McGreeny. That looked like what the yellow flag is all about. He's down at the 26.
We grabbed him up high near his helmet. Anytime you get your hands up there, it looks close to face mask. But it was excellent coverage by Pal Park, and their special teams have played well all day, and I think we must make note of that. This is the all-important fourth quarter, Mike. This is where the hay is in the barn. This is where everything stops. There's no more game after this. You got one more quarter to be the champions of this division, and I think really you have to admit that Pal Park deserves it after all the adversity they've come through, the challenge that Jason Miletic has been put on his shoulders, and he's done an excellent job. I think now Babe Mangeli's defense has got to stop him, get the ball back to Pal Park's offense, and Jason has got to lead them on to victory.
Well, they'll have to get the ball back for him to do that. Still, they're up by 10 points. Bellis hands it off. And he gets out to about the 48-yard line. A nice run by Ivanicki.
You know, Ivanicki showed excellent balance on that. Anytime a running back has got to put his hand down to prevent himself from going down and still keep his head down and gain a positive 5 or 6 yards on a first down, that really gets you in a good situation. I like this Ivanicki kid, man. He's really showing me a lot of heart, a lot of courage, a great leg movement and great quick feet and movement. And I like that in a running back because a lot of runners are just tough and can't make that move to make people miss. But Ivanicki seems to have the natural ability to make people miss in the open field. And that's something that it's hard for coaches to teach that to a running back.
Well, what do you think were your assets when you were running? The cutback type of thing?
I thought I had it all, man. I thought I had quickness, speed, good hands, agility, power, strength.
I had to ask. Ray Perez walking off the field, shaking up just a little bit, but he's off under his own power. That's a good sign.
And I like the mud on his pants, too. It really shows you they've been playing football, not soccer.
They'll be going to the cleaners. They'll be going happily with a win. 2nd down and 4. Bellis, the play fake, in trouble, dumps it off, and it's incomplete. And there's a flag, and I thought there may have been interference just because the defender did not turn around to see where the ball was. He just threw his arms up facing the receiver. It was a very late flag, though. It seemed like it may have been called by the sidelines.
I thought Tom Vellis showed excellent touch on that, but the defender did what they call a face guard. As you look at Vellis roll to his right, there was really nobody open, but he showed his touch that he has on the football by putting it where the closest offender was. The defender did not turn around to look at the ball. It was definitely a good call by the referee.
Well, Jeff Guerrero was called for the interference.
And this is the deepest penetration that Wallington has got since the first quarter, and I think they have to take advantage of it if they're going to get back in this game, Mike.
It was a good call. Now the ball, 1st and 10, Tiger 38, and the handoff again. They're just trying to power their way to get back into it. Sean Ivanicki picking up about 5 more.
You know, his acceleration once he gets in the hole is outstanding. Once he gets the ball, he makes his cut, and you can see him accelerate after he touches the ball.
Took up 2nd and 3, just shy of the 30-yard line.
So it's 2nd down and about 3, gain of 7 on that last one. Vellis, the play fake rolls out, and it's incomplete, intended for tight end Manuel Tejeda. Now let's go down to the field. Fred Demarest has some more for us, right?
Earlier I talked about how Ray Perez had the flu and he was under the weather, questionable for the game, but he did start. Moments ago he went off the field. It was just a cramp in his left leg. Look for him to return. Mike and Billy.
So Ray Perez will return. And it's probably easy to get cramped up in this cold weather, Billy.
Oh, no question.
Sitting around a little bit, tightens up.
Hey, look at us up here. I'm cramping.
3rd down and 3. Bellis. Under pressure, and the ball is loose again. Palisades Park trying to find it, but Wallington looks like they've recovered. The loose potato all over the field. And finally, the ball recovered by Wallington at the 43-yard line. So a big loss on the play. It was 3rd and 3. Now it's 4th down and about 15 yards to go.
Well, this is a definitely tough call for Coach Von Tobel, but one thing I must make note of, Babe Mangelia has really been having his defenders go for the ball. That is the 6th turnover, and even the 7th turnover, is that right, Mike?
Well, they didn't get it, but it was another fumble.
It's still a turnover, yes.
Yeah, it was 6 fumbles.
And that's what
5 of which were being recovered by Palisades Park. Now it's 4th down. Velas flips it. Manuel Tejeda, the big man, finds his way close to a 1st down before he's tripped up. It may have come up short. We're going to see exactly where they marked the ball, and they may have to put the markers down on this one again. Another nice play by Wallington. They always seem to come up with the big one to keep themselves in it.
Mike, I think that was a perfect play to call in that situation. Palisade Park had been getting a little bit of confidence on their pass rush. The way to stop a good pass rush is to either throw a draw or a screen. Great call, had good room to run, had the offensive guard and the tackle out there leading the interference for him. I thought it was an excellent call by Coach Carl Van Tobel.
And look how close it was. A matter of inches. Wallington picks up the very important 1st down with 10 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. The Tigers up by 10, 20-10 here in the state sectional finals for North Jersey Group 1 Section 1. A tremendous 1st down. In fact, you would have to say that this was probably the key play of the game for Wallington.
Oh, no question. And what a great call that he made in that situation, because the reason sometimes plays are executed well is because of the timing of them.
1st down.
Hit initially by Ali, throwing him up.
Tariq Ali coming up with the stop, but
stopped by Orlando.
Ivanicki gets pretty much nowhere.
Well, I think Pal Park defense is beginning to feel what a championship feels like, because they're upping their level defensively. They're gang tackling, they're playing with reckless abandon. They got everybody around the ball carrier, and the pursuit is very important when you're playing against a good Wallington running game.
The intensity level at an all-time high. Velas with the fake, gets to the outside, will not get the 1st down, but he gets very close on the option. He's knocked out of bounds, so actually it's still going. He's still in bounds.
You know, if it wasn't for Wallington's turnover, Mike, I think this game would be a little more closer, because Wallington has an excellent array of plays. They've had plays that set up other plays by the inside handoff, the option, the quick screens, the screens that are set up off the good running plays. And I think Wallington, if it wasn't for those turnovers, they would easily be in this game a little closer.
The Panthers huddled close together on the sidelines, trying to root their team on. It's 3rd and 1. And the handoff to Ivanicki, and it will be a 1st down for Wallington. This drive continues as he gets inside the 15-yard line.
What Babe Mangelia has got to think right now is that when his offense gets the ball back, they've got to pick up some 1st downs and get the chains moving, because Wallington has an excellent drive on this. They mix the plays up with the run and the pass and the screens and different things. And right now, 1 touchdown gets them right back in this game. And right now, this all-important 4th quarter is when you got to let it all hang out, Mike.
1st and 10. 8:20 to go and counting here in the 4th quarter. The handoff to Mark Pokai to the outside, and the pursuit by Palisades Park stops him after about a 4-yard gain.
Boy, there is some hidden in this game, and I'm so happy that I am not playing this game now, Mike, because I'd probably be crying to my mom on the sideline. These guys are letting it hang out, and this is what it's all about. Right now, with a little less than 8 minutes left in the game, this is when you cannot hold back. You've got all winter to rest your body or rest any parts that are aching right now, and if you want that championship, you've got to go get it.
2nd down and 7. The clock running. The Panthers in a key drive. Velas rolling left, throws off balance for Tejeda, and it's incomplete. Manny Tejeda looked like he might have been open with a better pass, but Velas just couldn't get it there.
You know, Mike, we don't know how much the wind had an effect on that. He was rolling the opposite way, trying to throw back off balance. He had 2 receivers covered, both by Jason Maletic, and I thought he had him open, and I thought it was just either a bad pass or the wind was in his way, because it seemed like he should have had 6 points out of that.
The intended receiver, of course, Tejeda, 18 catches this year for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns, so he does know what the end zone feels like. It's 3rd down and 7. Another big play for the Panthers. And Velas throws and gets hit immediately. The pass is incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. And it did look like where the receiver was, so we're going to have to wait and check. And it's
a legal receiver downfield.
Looks like a legal receiver downfield, but they pointed towards Palisades Park.
But he made the correction. And I think that they've got to make a problem with that, because anytime he rolls out, the offensive linemen are insecure as far as when they should go downfield. And that's a very important penalty against Wallington after this fine drive they put together.
Well, Babe Mongilia, you saw him on the sidelines waving his hands saying decline the penalty. So the ineligible man downfield penalty is declined by Palisades Park.
And Mike, this may be the biggest fourth down play in the game right now, because if they're going to get back in the game, they got to score now. And Babe Mangilia's defense has got to be a little bit nervous now, because they've been in this situation before.
This may be the biggest play in Pal Park history, defensively at least. Velis throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. The ball falls loose. Manny Tejeda had his hands on it. It looked like he had it, but on the hit, it comes loose, and the Palisades Park Tigers will take over 1st and 10 with 7:28 to go. That's all they need for their first state sectional championship.
Very big defensive play. As you look on the coverage, at great pressure coming up the middle. He had to release the ball. I thought the receiver should have had it. He would have had a first down if he had caught it. Big play from Pal Park on defense. Now, offensively, Pal Park's got to come up, and they've got to get some first downs to sustain a drive.
A great hit defensively by Darden Bilali, and here Tariq Ali gets the outside. And Ali is finally tackled at about the 30-yard line. He was tackled up high, but no penalty flag.
Well, as you look at the replay, Tariq Ali it was designed to go inside, break it off a tackle, hit the sideline, picked up positive yardage, and gives Pal Park room to breathe, room to operate, room to at least keep the clock moving, because this is what it's all about. This is the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left in the game. Championship is on the line, Mike. I can feel it.
Looked like Ali may have had that penalty on the face mask, but it wasn't called against Wallington, so here we go. 1st and 10. And again, it's Ali running for a couple of yards. Let's go down to the field once again for Fred Demarest.
What's being stressed right now on the Pal Park sideline is ball control. They've got to take a long-established drive at this point. They've got 20 points, but they really haven't established a drive. More importantly, it will take time off the clock, but most importantly, it will keep the Wallington offense marching up and down the sideline instead of the field. Mike and Billy.
You're right there, Fred. Panthers can't do a thing without the ball on offense. And time is running out. Again, the handoff to Ali. Maybe a gain of a yard on the 2nd down and 8. There is a flag, and that will stop the clock.
Excuse me, Mike, but the difference in this game from last year could be the play of Tariq Ali. He has been the difference in the game. He's picked up key 3rd down situations, picked up first downs at different times. He's got 2 nice long runs he's hitting the sideline. And I think that last year, you never know on hindsight, but he could have been the difference in Pal Park coming away with the championship or not.
And of course, he has those 2 all-important touchdowns. The first one giving the Tigers a 7-3 lead, a 33-yard run, the blast up the middle, and then a 3-yard touchdown to give Palisades Park the 13-10 lead. And we have a penalty flag, a defensive holding flag against Wallington, so that's not going to help their cause any, and it gives the Palisades Park Tigers 1st down and 10 instead of a 2nd down situation.
Well, as long as Pal Park has the ball, Wallington is in a negative situation, and Wallington has got to come up big defensively.
They need a big play here, but of course it's on the ground to Ali. He comes to the outside. He wants to stay in bounds here, and he does stay in bounds, and that's a smart play. I think when he was coming towards the sidelines, Billy, he was saying to himself, there's the sidelines, I can't get there. Babe will kill me if I run out of bounds.
Well, he's a senior, and that's where experience comes in, to knowing exactly the time on the clock, the distance, and all different things like that. Even though we've got a penalty on Pal Park, I believe.
Another flag is down. It's been a little bit more sloppy here in the 2nd half, and it is holding, offensive holding against the Tigers. So it will be marked off against Palisades Park. 6:18 to go. The score 20-10. The Palisades Park Tigers in command here at Vince Lombardi Field in Palisades Park, and the Pal Park fans on the sidelines anxiously awaiting the first sectional championship in football for Palisades Park. And again, you have to look back to the character of this team and the character of their coach, Babe Mongilia, who just 5 years ago, and we've said it before, His first year here, he was 1-8. Right now, he is so close to a sectional title.
Well, right now, it's going to come down to execution. They cannot make mistakes. They played relatively mistake-free ball the entire game. His team has really responded to the challenge very well. And I think right now, the players have got to at least raise their level for the next 6 minutes, because that's all there's left between Powell Park going to their first championship season.
Well, really, turnovers has been the key. 6 turnovers by Wallington, 3 turned into points by the Palisades Park Tigers. First down and 20. Maletic barks the signals. Hands it off to Ali on the draw. And he's got plenty of room across the 45 on a fumble. And Johnny on the spot, it's Tommy Johnston who falls on the ball at the 47-yard line. A break for the Tigers.
Well, I think Tariq Ali was very excited to get out of the open field because he had a blocker in front of him. As you look at the replay, he came through a nice hole. Really, you and I could have came through both. Hit the sideline, picked up his blockers, and really, I think he got excited and the ball just fell out. But in situations like that, you've got to wrap it a little tighter because the championship is on the line, Mike.
Jason Pilata comes in. Tommy Johnston will check out and certainly get a pat on the back for being where he was supposed to be, recovering that Ali fumble.
Well, it was a big first down play because they had like second and about first and 20. Now they come up with second and 4.
Darden Bilali down the bottom of your screen, wide right. Maletic fakes to Ali, comes wide, tucks it away, and will be chased out of bounds. Tim Levenka getting credited with that tackle. So it's 5:12 to go now, and it'll be third down and maybe a yard and a half.
I know that was hard for Jason to do, but he's got to try to stay in bounds to keep the clock moving, because once the clock is moving, that is his favorite person to even look at. And I think right now he's got to keep that in mind. It was a hard situation because his body was going east and west toward the sideline anyway.
Well, I'll go out on a limb, Billy, and say that if they get this first down here, you can pretty much close the books on any chance of Wallington coming back in this ball game.
Well, Mike, you're predicting what I predicted earlier about once they got to the fourth quarter, we could win. But who's arguing?
Palisades Park takes a timeout, and we'll take a break as well. The score, the Tigers 20, the Panthers 10. Fans are going wild. They know that the Tigers are just 5 minutes and 12 seconds away from their first state title in football. And are they ready for this or what, Bill?
Well, I think the fans really are showing their dedication of being able to come out and support their team after they've been here on twice before. But really, it's a tribute to Bay Mangilia for his coaching efforts and for coming back strong after getting here last year.
Third down and 2. Maletic on the keeper. He gets the surge from his offensive line. And plenty for the first down. And how about a big pat on the back for that offensive line? Captain Paul Hahn at right tackle, Tony Merkovic the center, Rico Graziano at left tackle, Eric Zitz at left guard, and Charlie Velardo at right guard. Those guys have done the job in the trenches. You know, they don't get enough credit for all they have to go through. I mean, they're getting down and dirty, and they're getting the job done.
And it's cold out here, too. Really, the offensive line is the key all day for getting holes for Tariq Ali, for giving Jason Maletic time, and really, they've played an outstanding game, and that is a crucial first down.
4:43 to go. Ali to about the 45-yard line, and a penalty flag comes in late one more time.
It looks like it's against Wallington, and I think right now Wallington is getting desperate. They're down by 2 scores, and they've got to get things going.
It's a personal foul on Wallington. Good possibility that was a late hit. It was a late flag. So the Panthers were pretty much shot themselves in the collective feet all day long, continue to do so as time runs out on their comeback chances.
Well, Mike, I think the fat lady is beginning to hum. I can hear her, or at least beginning to warm up her vocal cords, and I think really that Powell Park is on its way to their first championship ever. I think the fans are ready. I can feel the warmth of the field beginning to warm up a little bit because people can smell and feel that championship.
So it's 1st and 10, the ball at the 30-yard line. The Tigers just looking to take time off the clock. And Tariq Ali is stopped behind the line of scrimmage at the 32. Number 75, Barry Blaubelt, coming in 6'1", 210 pounds, making the tackle.
As we come up on the four-minute call for the end of the game, I think Terragali has got to keep in mind that yardage really is not that important, but holding on to the football right now, because right now they have the lead. Wallington has got to be going for the football, and they've got to be thinking, hold on to the ball. Jason Maletic has got to be telling them in the huddle to execute and don't worry about anything. Just keep the football on the Palisade Park side.
Believe it or not, some of the Palisades Park fans are leaving. They should at least stay for the celebration. Maletic goes deep, and it's just off his hands. Jason Pallotta looking to come up with another big reception like he did last week, but he just
play. Jason Maletic put the ball where only the receiver could catch it. The defender didn't even have a chance at it. As you see on the drop back, he puts the ball right exactly where it should be. The guy shows great effort, determination, but doesn't come up with it. But at least Bateman Gelia is not sitting on it.
Now we can understand that the Wallington fans are leaving. I mean, they want to get home and warm. They pretty much know that it's cold enough out here. They don't need to see any more Ali to the outside. And the ball at the 20-yard line now. The flag is down.
Usually when the back judge throws the flag, it's usually a holding penalty because he throws it so. Yes, it is. We've got a holding penalty.
We'll bring that play back.
And I know that's got to upset Terragali because he broke a beautiful run and was in contention for another first down on another crucial third down situation. But they bring it back.
It's still a third down situation for Palisades Park. And for Babe Mongilia and his staff, an outstanding job the entire season.
Well, Mike, we've got to give also thanks to our cameraman, Jay, Matt, John up there, Laura for spotting, and the guys down in the booth, Steve Eppolito and Jeff Shelley and company down there.
And Steve, another terrific job.
All right, Steve did a good job too, the cameraman. Got to give him credit too. Jay made me make sure that I put his name in there also.
Well, let's give proper credit. If you can see, you probably can't right now, but the guy all the way up top there has been getting the end zone shots is John Skelly, and he's been freezing just a bit up there. Jake Luck is our cameraman up here, giving you all the great field shots, and Matt Griffin is down on the ground. Say hello there.
Way to go, Matt.
You think it's cold up there? Of course, Matt Griffin, the field camera, done a great job along with Fred Demarest, our reporter on the field, who has kept us up to date on all the happenings on the sidelines. And of course, downstairs, the guys who put it all together, our producer, Jeff Shelley, another outstanding job, and our director, Steve Eppolito.
Steve who?
The big Giants fan,
big Giants
Steve
fan.
Eppolito, yeah.
You better be happy this.
And he's a big Palisades Park fan, too.
Listen, Maletic got three receivers to the right again. Last time he rolled to the left off of this, if you remember, Mike.
They flood the receivers to the right side, and they throw over the middle, and it's incomplete, but it looked like there was some interference there. Billy got a little excited. He thought that not only should have been caught, but possibly a little interference.
Well, I didn't mean to show my emotions on the play, but Jason Maletic threw that ball on the money, put it down nice and low in case, you know how Al Toon gets killed by the safety back coming out on Ken O'Brien. We talk about that. Jason Maletic put it in a position where the safety didn't have a chance at it. It was a beautiful pass, and Jason Maletic has had a great career at Palisade Park, and really he's going out in a bit of thunder, and congratulations go out to him for leading this team.
You can't take anything away from Tom Bellis, the quarterback, or Carl Von Tobel, who's done another outstanding job. The Wallington Panthers could hold their heads up high. Another outstanding season. This punt goes out of the end zone, but really, Billy, you take a look at the Wallington team. Again, they finished up with another outstanding record. Carl Von Tobel, 18-3 over 2 years, and you know that he'll find a way to get his team back to the state playoffs next year.
Well, he's done an excellent job of coaching the entire year. They lost a close game to Park Ridge, a game that could have gone either way to take a blemish on their 9-1 season. It's a tribute to him. I know they'd hate to go down in defeat after winning it last year, but really it's a tribute to him to come back with a new quarterback and a new group of guys and really have put forth an excellent effort. If it wasn't for those 6 turnovers, it might have been a different game.
Bellis Downfield, and it's picked off. Jeff Guerrero with the interception. And it looks like when he came down, he may have turned an ankle or twisted something on the field. He's showing a little bit of pain right now, but he does get credit for the INT.
Well, I think of this as a difference between who has the ball in the fourth quarter, because throwing against the wind when you're down by 10 points is a literally impossible situation. In Powell Park, really, the fans are starting to think about that Atlanta, what do you call that, chop? What do you call that?
Oh, the chop, yeah.
The chop. I see the fans getting involved in it down here. They feel that Powell Park has the championship wrapped up. And right now, with the wind going like it is, it's going to be hard for Wallington to come back unless they get an awful big break.
One thing we didn't see out of the fans today, thankfully, was the wave.
That might have added some warmth.
Although it would have kept them warmed up.
Down on the field.
We'll take this timeout while Jeff Guerrero gets attended to on the field. Tariq Ali gets the handoff. And gets back to the line of scrimmage, so the clock runs now with 2:30 left in the fourth quarter.
Wallington's calling timeout, trying to stop that clock, and they're trying to still give effort, and hopefully they can get the ball back and get back in this game.
Now Wallington has called a timeout.
That's the Panthers' first timeout of the half.
They have 2 left, but at this point, it's not going to mean much. They're down by 10, and Palisades Park is just counting the moments to their first state sectional title.
Well, this has got to be sweet revenge for Palisade Park to come back after going down against Wallington last year, to show character throughout the entire football season, to realize what was at the end, to work at it, and to come through with an accomplishment like this is totally a tribute to the coaching staff and the players and just everybody associated with Palisade Park Tiger football.
Takes the snap, rolls right. Nice block by Perez, and he gets out of bounds, and I keep waiting for a flag on a late hit, Billy. I mean, he's out of bounds already, and the Panthers trying to take out some of their frustrations a little bit, but twice in this fourth quarter, it looks like it could have gone for a flag.
Well, I think also Jason has got to stay in bounds, even if he has to slide and do a hook slide like he's sliding in second base, because the main thing is they got to keep that clock moving right now, because anytime Wallington gets the ball back with any time, they can strike quickly, and Palisade Park has got to prevent that.
So it's 3rd down, 8 yards to go.
At the 20.
2:19 to go. Fourth quarter. It looked like Wallington may have jumped off sides. A flurry of flags on the field.
Seems like we'll never get out of this 2 minutes as the wind begins to come up.
Discussion on the field. And it is offside, so Jason Maletic pulls Wallington offside. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Well, Mike, is this game as cold as last year's championship game?
I think that last year's might have been just a little bit colder.
Well, this wind
maybe just as windy, but maybe a little bit colder.
What was the temperature at game time?
Temperature here was about 37 degrees. So it was supposed to go up a little bit higher, but
I think it went down, though.
Maletic rolls left. With room to run, he tucks it away. And is knocked out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
He's got a first down. Jason's thinking another touchdown. There has been no scoring in the second half, and he wants to do something about that.
Well, here's the replay. Maletic to the outside. And he was looking for a little bit more room to run, but Wallington closed it down after a 10-yard gain. You know, you got to take your hats off to all the seniors on the field, and on the Palisades Park side, I don't think they're really caring too much about the fact that their season's coming to an end because they're going to be wearing a state crown. Here, Maletic to the outside, and he's brought down. But you know, on the Panthers side, those seniors must be saying to themselves that this may be the last time we get a chance to play at the high school level. Some of them, maybe at all.
Well, some of them, this will be their last time ever suiting up in a football uniform, because sometimes some players going to college, and most of them probably will never play again. And this is something that they'll never forget. I can remember when I was in high school and our team went against Tommy Kramer, the Vikings, as far as something that you'll never ever forget. I think these guys, this championship, they'll remember when they're about 60 years old, explaining it to their grandchildren.
At the 7-yard line, 2nd down and 2. Palisades Park looking to add on to their lead, and Ali goes straight up the middle. and it looks like he may be a bit short there. And right now, let's go down for an injury update on Jeff Guerrero. Fred Demarest has the report. Fred?
A few moments ago, scary injury to Jeff Guerrero. He hurt his left knee. He had trouble getting around. He tried to get up and walk on it for a second and had to sit back down. He has since then gone up to, he's got it to a slight hobble, but he's still having problems getting around. Mike and Billy?
All right, Fred, that's tough late in the game. We want to enjoy the victory, and then you're sitting on the sidelines with an injury, but we certainly hope that Jeff Guerrero feels better quickly.
Well, he definitely made a contribution. I also have to make note that our sideline reporter, Fred, excellent job all day, Mike.
Outstanding. So it is third down.
3 receivers to the left.
And another flag on the play. How many have we had here in the second half? The first half went by quickly. The second half is going by very slowly, especially the last couple of minutes here in the fourth quarter. 35 seconds to go. It's delay a game on the Tigers, so they'll take the penalty. I don't think Babe Mangilia wants to rub it in anybody's face. He's not that kind of coach. He'll be happy with what's up on the board as long as he can take home the championship. And it's just a matter of 35 seconds before they can claim their first state title. The fake to Ale. Maletic rolls left, will keep it himself. And he gets inside the 5-yard line before he's finally brought down. He had nowhere to go. Wallington closing it off. And that should just about do it, Billy. We're under 20 seconds to go, and Palisades Park has held on for their first state title.
And Mike, it's been an excellent job working with you. The crew of Vision Cable did an excellent job, and it's only fitting that Pal Park is the state champions.
And as you count it down, 3, 2, 1, there it is, Palisades Park, the Tigers, state sectional championship. Outstanding game, beating Wallington, the defending state champion in Group 1, Section 1, by a score of 20-10. And there's really not much more you can say about these two warriors on the field. An outstanding game.
Well, Babe Mangilia has worked his heart out. He's really devised great character for his team, and it's only attributed to the success that he had today.
And there's Babe and Carl Von Tobel getting together. You got to know that the two close friends will get together again sometime in the future, and chances are it will be on the field for another game, possibly in the state tournament. Charlie Velardo getting a big hug and congratulations. Number 77 with over 100 tackles this season, an outstanding job at his linebacking position. There's Eric Ziegler. Eric throwing that option pass last week, which turned out to be the game winner. The final score, 20-10. We'll come back and recap this one. Palisades Park, the Group 1 champs. We'll be back in a moment. What was it that made the difference?
Well, first half we did a lot of sprint outs and rollouts, and I really couldn't get outside because it kept on blitzing the outside linebackers, and it kept on stuffing me in a box, wouldn't let me get out. But our line just came to play. Line did a great job picking up everything, you know, making the adjustments, and played a hell of a game for us.
Well, great way to end a career at Palisades Park, and we'll see you in the college ranks. So congratulations, Jay. All right, Tariq Ali, why don't you come in here? Tariq Ali with 2 touchdowns on the afternoon. Said he made up for last week. Indeed you did.
Yeah, well, I just got to hand it to the offensive line, baby. They just blew them out of there. I mean, Wallington was much bigger than us, you know, but our offensive line handled them beautifully, you know, and they opened up some holes for me, and I just did what I had to do.
What about the difference in this team, say the middle of the first quarter on? Early on seemed maybe a little bit sluggish. Did you feel that way? Maybe not intimidated, but maybe you had last year's game on your mind?
No, we just had to get the kinks out, you know, get rid of the butterflies and everything, you know. But once we got into the game a little, you know, we knew we were the better team, so it was all ours. We knew it.
Now, how do you feel now? You finally won the championship.
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, man. It's been so elusive the past 3 years, man. It's just the best feeling I've ever had.
Okay, let's bring in one of your offensive linemen here. All right, congratulations, Tyreek. This is Eric. How are you?
All right.
And listen, congratulations. What a tremendous game.
Yeah. After last year, you know, Tark and everybody got on our case about losing, and losing. You know, we were seeded first last year, and we kind of felt that, you know, we didn't deserve to lose, and we just came this year after our loss to Seacole, because we thought, you know, that we're not going to lose anymore, and we're going to go all the way, seniors.
So they were on your case for about 12 months until you finally got them a championship and made a couple nice holes for him.
Yeah, well, Miletic especially, because last year Milanicki, he tackled Miletic, and they gave him a